In the 17th century, European sailors navigating the treacherous waters of the Bay of Bengal relied on a massive, dark silhouette rising above the coastline, and they called it the Black Pagoda. That towering navigation marker was actually the Konark Sun Temple, a Hindu monument completed around 1250 CE. At its peak, the main sanctuary reached over 225 feet into the air, roughly the height of a modern 20-story building. But if you visit Konark today, you won't see that soaring tower. The primary structure, the main sanctuary, has vanished. What remains is only the smaller front audience hall. The massive rear sanctum that once dwarfed this structure has been reduced to rubble. The result is a site where stones that track time to the minute lie broken, and its largest structure remains a literal void without a definitive explanation for its fall. To understand what was lost, we have to look at what King Narasingha Deva I built in 1250.
He envisioned a monument dedicated to Surya, the Hindu sun god. This diagram shows the foundational geometry of Kalinga architecture. Using a highly specific square and circle mandala layout, the builders constructed the entire temple to resemble a colossal stone chariot. According to Hindu Vedic iconography, Surya travels across the sky in a chariot. To emulate this, the architects carved 7 massive stone horses at the base to pull the structure. Flanking the sides of this base are 24 wheels, each nearly 12 feet in diameter and covered in layered miniature carvings that decorate every spoke and hub. A moment of wonder. These wheels serve a specific functional purpose. They are accurate sundials. The 8 wider spokes and the spaces between them catch and cast shadows that allow an observer to calculate the time of day down to the exact minute. Beyond the scale of the engineering, the builders imported thousands of tons of stone to carve jewelry-quality miniature reliefs. The walls are covered with scenes of daily life, from soldiers marching to travelers preparing meals. Among these carvings are uninhibited Maithunas, erotic scenes illustrating the Kama Sutra. These sculptures reflect a 13th century society that viewed sexuality as an integrated, natural part of human life and spirituality. By merging astronomical instruments with microscopic depictions of daily society, the builders created a chronological and cultural encyclopedia carved directly into the rock. By the 18th century, a Maratha holy man exploring the coastline found the temple entirely abandoned and swallowed by the jungle. Sometime between its completion and its rediscovery, the 225-foot main sanctum, the Reka Deul, fell. Historians debate several possibilities.
One theory points to an invasion in 1568, suggesting a general named Kalapaha intentionally sacked and damaged the temple. Another explanation is environmental. The builders relied heavily on condylite, a porous rock that weathers quickly. Harsh coastal winds and salty air may have simply eroded the structural integrity of the stone over the centuries. A third theory suggests a structural failure. This graphic illustrates the downward pressure generated by a 225-foot solid stone tower. It is possible the weight of the architecture eventually cracked its own foundation. Because no definitive historical record explains the collapse, we cannot verify which of these scenarios is true. The fall of a sanctuary that once stood twice as high as its surviving assembly hall leaves a permanent void in the historical record. Recognizing that the surviving audience hall was in danger of suffering the same fate, British archaeological teams in 1903 began an effort to save it. Their solution was drastic. They sealed the doors and packed the entire space from floor to ceiling with sand, creating an internal support structure to keep the walls from caving in. That sand remained inside for over a century. It wasn't until 2022 that the Archaeological Survey of India began the process of finally excavating the interior. As they clear the sand, engineers are installing heavy-duty stainless steel beams inside the hall. This framework will permanently stabilize the ancient stone from the inside out. To keep these 13th century stones standing, modern engineers have had to resort to solutions as experimental as the temple's original design, from sealing the hall in sand to pinning the ancient rock with steel. Even in its fragmented state, the temple casts a long shadow. It remains a central pillar of modern Odia identity and culture. To see how deeply ingrained this site is in daily Indian life,
You only have to look at the back of a 10-rupee note, which prominently features an engraving of the temple's chariot wheel. It has inspired epic poems and moved Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore to write that at Konark, the language of stone surpasses the language of human. The vertical ambition of the Black Pagoda eventually succumbed to gravity and time, yet the surviving accuracy of its sundials and the detail of its carvings prove that even a broken masterpiece serves as an enduring record of what was once possible.